Welcome to the Explainer. This is where we love to take big topics and just break them down. Today, we're putting on our detective hats because we're going to be cracking the code of Indian history using a history textbook and some really cool visual clues. Okay, let's just dive right in with the biggest question of all. How in the world do we know what really happened thousands of years ago? I mean, there are no eyewitnesses left, right? Well, let me tell you, it's not magic or guesswork. It's a full-on investigation, a methodical hunt for evidence. You see, historians don't just make things up. They follow the clues. And as this fantastic chart from our source materials shows, the clues pretty much fall into four main categories. You've got archaeological stuff they dig up, literary works that people wrote down, official archival records, and these really fascinating accounts left by foreign travelers. So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to dig up some physical facts. Then, we'll try to decode some voices from the past, sift through a modern paper trail, and finally, see how historians put all these puzzle pieces together. And yeah, along the way, we're going to tackle some questions pulled straight from the textbook. Alright, first up, let's get our hands dirty, figuratively speaking, by digging up the facts. We're talking about the most solid, tangible evidence we can find. The actual stuff people left behind. Now just look at this. The contrast here is pretty amazing, right? On one side, you have the Great Bath of Mohenjo-daro, this massive, sophisticated structure that tells you so much about ancient city life. And on the other, just a handful of old Mauryan coins. It really shows you that history is found in everything, from giant buildings to the loose change in someone's pocket. And that brings us to our first little pop quiz from the textbook. What do you call the study of coins? Well, it's a super important field for historians, and it's called numismatics. Sounds fancy, I know, but trust me, these little pieces of metal are like tiny, information-packed time capsules. And this is why they're so incredibly valuable. On a single coin, you can literally see the king's face, figure out which gods they worshipped. It's all stamped right there. It can even tell you how far their economy reached. In fact, our source material makes a huge point here. Without coins, a whole chapter of history, the Indo-Greeks, would be pretty much a total mystery to us. Okay, on to our next type of physical clue. And yep, you guessed it, another textbook question. What is the study of inscriptions called? This one's known as epigraphy. Basically, it's the art of reading messages that people wanted to last forever, carved right into stone or metal. And this pillar right here, it's the perfect example. It's not just a pillar, it's more like a historical bulletin board that's been used for centuries, a total treasure chest of information. So let's crack another case from the textbook. One of the most famous inscriptions on this very pillar is this glowing review, this eulogy for the Emperor Samudragupta. And who wrote it? Well, that would be his very own court poet and minister, a guy named Harisena. Okay, just let this sink in for a second. This one single pillar has messages from the great Mauryan Emperor Ashoka, then, centuries later, from the powerful Gupta king Samudragupta, and then, more than 1,000 years after that, from the Mughal ruler Jahangir. It's insane. It's literally history written right on top of itself. Okay, so we've looked at the physical stuff, the objects. Now, let's shift gears and look at what people actually wrote down. Let's try to decode some voices from the past through literary sources. So, long before paper was common, this was the internet of its day. They look so fragile, don't they? But these delicate palm leaf manuscripts held everything. Epic stories, scientific knowledge, religious texts, you name it. Now, historians like to split these ancient texts into two big buckets. First, you've got religious literature. This stuff tells you all about what people believed, their philosophies, and social norms. Then you have the secular literature. This is the practical stuff, like Kautilya's Arthasastra, which is basically a tell-all guide on how to run a government and an economy back in the Mauryan Empire. You know, some of the most interesting written sources we have come from people who weren't from India at all. Think about it. When you travel somewhere new, you notice all the little things that locals just see as normal. That's why accounts from outsiders like Megasthenes from Greece or Huanzong from China are pure gold for historians. And here we go, another case file from our textbook questions. The famous Moroccan traveler Ibn Battuta, who did he write about? Well, he spent years in India and gave us this incredibly detailed first-hand look into the reign of Mohammed bin Tughlaq, the Sultan of Delhi. It's all there in his book, The Rela. All right, let's hit the fast forward button. When we get to more modern history, especially during the British period, a whole new world of evidence just explodes onto the scene. We're talking about archives. I mean, the British were, let's just say, obsessed with paperwork. They wrote down everything. And because of that, we have this massive paper trail of official letters, secret police reports, court records, you name it. This incredible mountain of paper is what allows modern historians to piece together things like the freedom struggle in such amazing detail. Okay, so we've got coins dug up from the ground, carvings on stone pillars, ancient texts on palm leaves, and mountains of official records. We have all these different puzzle pieces, but how do we actually put the puzzle together and see the real picture? This right here, this might be the most important rule for any historical detective. You have to be skeptical. You can't just take everything at face value. Just like our own source text points out, sources are often biased. Remember that poem Harisena wrote for Samudra? It wasn't exactly unbiased journalism. It was a PR piece designed to make the emperor look like an absolute superstar. So, how do you find the truth? Well, the real magic, the real detective work, is in something called corroboration. It's all about cross-referencing. You take one clue, like a king's claim in an inscription, and check it against another, like where his coins have been found. Do the stories match up? If they do, you're probably onto something real. And really, that's the big idea for today, isn't it? History isn't just a list of names and dates. The real story, the interesting part, is how we know what happened. It's a conclusion that's been built piece by piece from all the scattered clues that managed to survive the test of time. So, I want to leave you with this one final thought. 1,000 years from now, what are your phones, text messages, your social media posts, your photos? What are they going to tell historians about us, about your life? We're all leaving clues behind for the future. Pretty wild to think about, right? Thanks for watching.
Now students, the questions related to this chapter and their answers are given here. Read this once, take a screenshot and keep it. It will help you remember. Look, these questions with their answers are given here. Now this topic is finished. We will meet again in the next chapter. Best wishes to everyone. Study attentively. Be conscious of your future and build your career. All the best.